Today I'm joined by the Managing Director of Hexagone Resources, Mike Rosenstrike. Mike, thank you for your time.
My pleasure, David. Thanks for your interest.
Mike, you've announced that Hexagone has signed a heads of agreement with Mineral Resources. Can you provide us with a bit of an overview?
Sure. It's pretty exciting news. I think the key message is that this now gives our shareholders a clear line of sight to production with a very credible major West Australian-based resources company. The key elements of the transaction are that Mineral Resources will undertake the feasibility study, the pre-work approvals, the development, and then operate the project in return for a 51% share of the project. Now, the things that are associated with that is that we're also going to form a 50-50 joint venture company to market the graphite product. MinRes are going to go on and operate the project once the joint venture or the operating joint venture part of the project, and that's a standard joint venture terms. We each cover our respective share of the operating costs, and then we each receive our respective shares of the production sales. And look, there's no debt overhang or anything like that that sits there with Hexagone. It's MinRes take it right through to commercial production at the scale of our pre-feasibility study, 100,000 tonnes of graphite concentrates a year, and we have a terrific new partner with a 51% share in the project.
So what do you see as the key benefits of this joint venture?
I think the key benefit really is around certainty, and as you increase certainty, you reduce risk. And so you look at all the risks that we've taken out of this, not just for our shareholders, but for all of the stakeholders involved in this project. We've taken out the risk of completing the feasibility study. We've taken out the construction risk or exposure to construction risk. We've taken out commissioning risk. We've taken out the risks associated with a junior company trying to build up a technical team and operate a project of this scale. We've taken out the ramp-up risks. These can be huge financial burdens on a junior company like ours with a large-scale industrial minerals project. So the key benefit is certainty. We've actually done a major de-risk of this project, and we've done it by attracting a quality partner. And an obvious benefit, particularly to our shareholders, is that this transaction is being done at the project level. So there isn't the dilution at the listed company level. And that's pretty significant. I think people may, I've had questions on this from shareholders, and I think, and the question is, well, why didn't you just go for debt? And I think, with due respect to those people, they don't really appreciate how difficult it is for a junior company with one key asset or one key project to be able to secure project debt for a project where the commodity is an industrial mineral like graphite. So there's no secondary market, there's no hedging opportunities whereby a lender can mitigate their risks to things like price exposure. And so I think this minimisation of dilution for Hexagone shareholders is a really huge benefit.
Certainly sounds like great news for your investors.
It is good news for our investors, absolutely. But we're respectful enough of our shareholders' views that we're going to go to shareholders and seek approval. We don't have to, but this is our core asset, and it's something that the board's determined that we would do in this regard. Previously I spoke about dilution, and not only, as I illustrated, are we reducing dilution, but we don't have any overhangs on the balance sheet. There's no debt in there on the balance sheet that's attributable to Hexagone as a result of this. It's a very clean transaction with a partner that brings, I think, really strong technical skills and a presence in the marketplace.
So Mike, why is Mineral Resources such a good partner for the development of Macintosh?
Actually, they're not a good partner, they're an excellent partner. They're really prevalent throughout many operations in Western Australia, so they've got that West Australian experience. They are really a pit to wharf operator. They've got the experience with respect to mining. Many of their operations use flotation technology, which we would use in our stage 1 processing, and they've got the logistics and the support services experience as well. And you might recall in my opening remarks, we're having a 50-50 marketing company. They have a presence in the battery mineral space already through their lithium operations, and that's another aspect that they can contribute through this joint venture.
So what are the next steps in terms of progressing the agreement?
The next steps in progressing the agreement are really to obtain our shareholder approval, and we would look to get that completed in early May. Then we've got a series of documents to agree between ourselves and Mineral Resources, and that process is well advanced already. And finally, in terms of these next steps, is transitioning where we get our technical team, there's allowance there for our technical team to dovetail in with what Mineral Resources are proposing to do, and would like to get that transitional phase as smooth as possible to maintain the momentum.
Are you able to give a quick recap of the key features of the Macintosh project?
Sure. David, as we've spoken about before, what we've unearthed in the last 6 to 12 months is an exceptionally high quality, high purity graphite project in Western Australia. As we've done test work so that we see our product through the eyes of our potential customers, we've uncovered a whole range of exceptional technical attributes, which means that our product is suitable not for one purpose, but a whole range of purposes, generally all in a high-end area. And now Hexagone has really differentiated itself by probably being one of the very few companies with an advanced, fully funded graphite project. That's how I'd recap it. And I guess what are the next steps? Well, as MinRes take on the management of this joint venture, we're going to look more and more deeply at stage 2 or downstream processing opportunities. And we're also somewhat interested to advance our overall credentials with respect to advanced materials, in other words, looking at other projects.
Mike, is there anything else you wish to add before we wrap up?
Look, I'd just like to add, I guess, on behalf of the board, Chairman Charles Whitfield and the Hexagone team, how pleased we are to be able to give our shareholders now, as I said earlier, a clear line of sight to production. I think that's really important. It removes so much uncertainty, and now that creates the platform to sort of step up and have a look at these downstream opportunities that will come in terms of the further processing of the graphite material. And that's a really exciting stage to be at. And look, I'm really looking forward to sitting down with you again and being able to provide further updates as part of this process.
Mike, thank you for your time.
My pleasure, David.